Hello, in today's video we will discuss about the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and we will also discuss the origin of this conflict and how NATO is related to it. So before going to the origin of the NATO-Ukraine conflict, let's summarize the present situation and present conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and in relation to its status with NATO and the US. So recently Russia has mobilized more than 1 lakh troops along its border with Ukraine, and it is demanding a major security concession from NATO. So here Russia alleges that the US leaders have broken promises they made in the early 1990s to not expand NATO's membership eastward. So, but US and NATO leaders say no such pledges or commitments were made, and they refuse to discuss limitations and NATO's future expansions, but they say they are open for discussions on other security issues other than the Ukraine issues with the Russia. Now let's take a look at the origin and development of NATO and the Ukraine crisis in detail. First, the NATO originated in 1949 with its founding members like UK, US, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, etc. Now, during the Cold War, some expansion of NATO occurred, and some countries like Greece, Turkey, and West Germany, Spain were admitted to NATO. Now, in the post-Cold War expansion, Germany, the combined Germany, unified Germany was admitted, and Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, and Bulgaria were also admitted. But recently, the recent admissions were in 2017 when Montenegro joined NATO, and in the latest one was 2020 when North Macedonia was admitted to NATO. So the major conflict of Ukraine started in 2008, when in 2008, after the Bucharest summit, where NATO stated that it has intention to admit Georgia and Ukraine. So at that point, Ukraine conflict started, and 6 years later, Russia invaded Ukraine and annexed Crimea, which is a very small part of Ukraine. Now for Russia, it cannot tolerate Ukraine joining NATO because Ukraine is a pillar of the erstwhile Soviet Union with strong historic ties with Russia. So Russia cannot afford to see Ukraine joining NATO. So now Russia has put forth 2 agreements that seek legally binding security guarantees from the United States and NATO, which include first, the NATO to end its eastward expansion and specifically deny future membership to the ex-Soviet states such as Ukraine, and it would also ban the United States from establishing bases in the cooperating militarily with former Soviet Union states. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel.